Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own. Let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
Untitled what can one and EJ can one the ration one say what can one and EJ can one the ration one. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
Untitled what can one and EJ can one the ration one say what can one and EJ can one the ration one. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
Untitled what can one and EJ can one the ration one say what can one and EJ can one the ration one. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
Untitled what can one and EJ can one the ration one say what can one and EJ can one the ration one. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
Untitled what can one and EJ can one the ration one say what can one and EJ can one the ration one. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
Untitled what can one and EJ can one the ration one say what can one and EJ can one the ration one. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
Untitled what can one and EJ can one the ration one say what can one and EJ can one the ration one.
Best of clearances from Samuel Atta. Now here is Lamte trying to look back for Etuga. Nearly beat goalkeeper Isam. Is the first corner of the afternoon to Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Brilliant hit. Lovely combination between him and Lamte, who's setting up nicely. He just waiting for the ball to drop. Ball drops well for him, but the way he got his knee over the ball to control the effort is brilliant. The ball just took a difficult bounce.
Here's Kotoko in this the opener. Dixon Afakwa. He scores for Asante Kotoko. And the Porcupines are unstoppable.
Hydration from Sharks. They were not watching, they were not concentrating. It was from the throw-in. Kotoko were quick in their thinking and they play themselves. And there's that man again in Fuege who's always sharp, who's always alert. Saw him, he enjoyed that.
Yes, he's been waiting for long, and that's the equalizer. Elmina Sharks are backing it. Edukau, who's parity.
That's how to respond. That is how to respond. Great response from them. great response, and that is what it is. When you go down as they did, you need something, you need to find something. We spoke about the fact that set pieces will be crucial for them because they're never really going to create the whip of the ball into the box is brilliant. The goalkeeper can't come out and claim it. All he's going to be doing is be hoping that his defenders do him a favor, but the marking is poor. Nobody keeping an eye on him, and the Dukwao rose well and glanced that ball into the side of the net, and the goalkeeper can't find the answer. But the whip on the ball is good, and the quality of the header is brilliant.
And Chipsa all in the Kotoko box, and Mustafa's delivery. There's an appeal for a penalty. Referee Abdullah Ibrahim whistles for a spot.
Players are flashing in the face of the referee. We'll see if it comes off the hand. Again, I'm not sure it comes off the hand of a Fuakwa. And it's Sharif who is in there, and as the ball comes, again it's throwing into his hand, and even if it comes
forward, and this time he scores to make it 2-1 for Elmina Sharks. No chance for that lad. It's Elmina Sharks 2, Kotoko 1. Awesome. Now here is Obin Jr. Good skill to go past Philip Sake. Here is Daniel Friyebanye. Good goalkeeping from Kaku, and a Waku shot is blocked. An appeal for a penalty. The gripman.
There you see it again, the flick is good. Left Philip Saki for dead. The run from Barnier onside here. Goalkeeper a little bit too late, but did well to really narrow the angle in the end. Awaku's effort is on target, but really blocked well by Gripman. Good defending.
Come on. Good downing from Abekwe. Now Razak Yusuf stays onside. Razak Yusuf and Great Olympics are up by 1-0. And Anawalka, super excited, but it is Abdul Razak Yusuf. You want to give all the credit to Abekwe.
But that is an assist from him, if you ask me. And once he gets the ball, Abdul Razak, and he's through on goal, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He keeps his cool, picks the spot. He tries to narrow the angle, but
and Muntari to Obin Jr. wiggles his way. It is still Obin Jr. Here's Fatah Mohammed, Daniel Barnier, and Saboche. Obin Jr. Kofi Koji. Ball is cleared away by Philip Saki. And it's
Muntari is passing here, he's still on, he's still got the touch. Obin Jr. is lucky enough to get on the ball, but that's well to pick out his captain with one touch. Setting up Barnier, but Gripman is alert.
Ball in through Sadat Mohammed in the game. Lovely scale into the 18-yard box. A shot on target. Good save from Yao Osei.
And it was Ibrahim who start that move and the pass to Wayo clinically trying to go for the far post there, but
to an end. We're continuing with the action now as the second half of the match between King Faisal and Real Tamale United. Nicely done, the header is free, straight into the net.
Just look at the delivery. Where was the marking? Nobody there to mark David Oponafrani, and immediately you get that wonderful delivery. Look at how good that header was.
That's the daring run. It's a good enough pass. Goalkeeper came out front first time over, and they've taken the opportunity against the run of play.
And there Morrison with just a tap in with the goalkeeper at his mercy with a gaping net.
Until referee. Careful crossing by Abdul. Opportunity. Oh, that was a very feeble header from the teacher himself, Hafiz Konkoni.
And the tempo very slow from Bechem United, the build-up.
Chance coming the way of Augustine Okra. He usually doesn't miss from this spot.
From goalkeeper Kofi Mensah. Yeah, under no pressure, Kofi Mensah gives the ball away straight to Augustine Okra. And Okra with a beautiful control first time.
They have the best good enough as they come forward. Into the 80-yard box, a shot on target. Oh, magnificent delivery.
And then the control, magnificent, the finish, clinical.
This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
They
When you are having to heal from a rather sapping weekend where you sold yourself in a coveted derby or you were bundled out by a disdained shark, I'm sure you are the Porcupine Warriors or the imbalanced Oak Tree, you would want to come back emphatically. Whereas for the Hunters, they have charted a rather quiet path this season and stamping upon every other opponent ardently on the quiet side of everybody. And so they are there in the second on the league log and coming gradually. Can they have a quiet and good season for them? Well, only the round of matches will determine, because we are gradually closing in on the first round of the ongoing 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League season, where the edge to drown lax managers is ongoing unabatedly. Managers are being left behind the wagon and the season is still rolling. Women's football is big on the agenda because they had their fair share of the Women's FA Cup and also having to play week 8 of the ongoing Women's Premier League. My name is Abigail Senaso, and it's good to have you again. Just gone by were some beautiful moments we missed out on after we have midway for the AFCON 2021. But there's a lot to talk about because we still want to talk about our players that do not have a bite at the national team, and then sponsorship for women's football as well. And so joining me today is Samuel Ziga, who is a seasoned sports journalist as well. He's been with me on the show before. I'm sure this is the second time. So we'll have to just set the ball rolling. And a warm welcome to the beautiful game here on GTV Sports Plus. My name is Abigail Senaso. Ziga, it's good to see you again.
Good to be here.
No. We've done 16 rounds already. You left us to Cameroon, so we'll talk about that later. But
sure.
I know you were following as well. After 16 weeks, I don't know if your top 4 clubs are still in place.
Well, I'm not surprised to see the clubs in the top 4 there at this particular point in time, because it's still early days. You can't really stick your neck out and say at the end of the season these are the teams that would finish in top 4. It's quite, normal that you find these clubs actually lurking in around the top 4. Bechem United, teams like Mediama Sporting Club, Olympics, and teams like Adriana Stars would always have a crack at or a sniff at the top 4 in the start of the league. But getting to the end of it, that's where we find the business being done. Well, Kotoko obviously on top. I see them as their way, the golfing gap, or how do I even put it? The gap between Kotoko and most of the teams this season is huge, to be honest. Sure. The quality of the players in coaching as well, no disrespect to any other club, it shows, and it's telling on top of the league. I wasn't surprised that Elmina Sharks beat them. Obviously, they are down the barrel and would want to make a mark, would want to put down a marker. They wouldn't want to go down so easily. If anyone wants to play against teams like Kotoko and Haas, that's where they bring their A games. Sure. So to have them face defeats over the weekend, I think it's one of those things, but that doesn't take away their quality. They've been superb on all fronts. Goalkeeping department, Dan Ladd, possibly my revelation of the season. I didn't give him that dog chance to actually display what he's doing this season. In defense, Ganyu holding an entrenched position over there. In midfield, Agadas, Mudasiru. I mean, these are players who have really shown what they can do. And I think that new manager vibe at Kotoko is also helping them. Sure. Dr. Prosper Nate. I mean, he's shown that he's a believer of philosophies. He knows how to put in the work. He knows how to get his players to play the way he wants them to play. We saw that at Wafa, and it's evident with Asante Kotoko. His strikers are running at every other defender. And the funny thing is that the Ghana Premier League defenders, I've had a chance to speak to some of them. They admit that it's always a difficult session playing against these two Kotoko strikers, Infega and then Mbella. I mean, these are players that know their act. They know what they are good at. They've got the pace, the piquancy, the zest. They are very accurate, very direct players. They know what they want to do on the field. So when you're coming up against players of this nature, you know you are in for a long afternoon or long evening. So I think that it's no coincidence that Kotoko find themselves on top of the league log. Then again, I come to a team like Bechem United. Before the program started, we're having our own chat here about how these sides start their league on a very good note, but getting to the middle or getting to the business end of the league, they seem to be disinterested. They lose that vibe, that kind of fighting spirit they put in the first place. And you ask yourself, why these? Maybe their aim is not to win the league, just to channel performances to attract potential buyers in the country or outside the country. Maybe that's their philosophy. Maybe that's what their mindset is.
Yeah.
But teams like Hearts of Oak Kotoko, you are going into every season to win the league. So it is no. I don't grudge the Hearts of Oak fans who are already calling for the head of the players, the management, and all that, because these are players who won you the league last season. You are league champions for crying out loud. So you've raised the standard. The bar has been raised, raised to a particular level. So you expect to actually put in a shift to either maintain or go a notch higher. But if they are not seeing things of this nature, then obviously they would come at you.
That Hearts of Oak story is something else we want to talk about, because someone also argued that last season, as around this time, go back and check where you were lying on the league log. And so calling for the head of your manager is a little too early. But let's quickly run by results for match day 16 and remind ourselves what really happened. And so on Friday, Bechem United beat Ashanti Gold 2-0. And then on Saturday, King Faisal also beat Rotamla United 2-0, and Accra Lions beat Midiama SC 1-0. I watched that game at the Accra Sports Stadium. And then on Sunday, 11 Wonders shared sports with West Africa Football Academy. Dreams Football Club lost to Bekum Chelsea at the Theatre of Dreams. And then Bibiani Gold Stars also beat Aduana Stars. Karila United shared sports with Legon Cities, and Hearts of Oak were beaten in that derby in Accra. And then on Monday, the Sharks just came out and then swallowed the Porcupine.
Giant killers.
For the Accra derby, I don't know, the Manchester derby, if I should say, a lot went into that game. People expected a lot. And for me, I think on the day I saw a brand new Great Olympics.
Obviously, they always bring their A game whenever they are playing against the Hearts of Oak. A lot goes into this derby.
Yeah.
The bragging rights, the history, and a lot more. So I wasn't surprised to see Olympics put up such a splendid performance against Hearts of Oak. Hearts of Oak on the day, I think that they played into the hands of Great Olympics. As early as the 15th minute, you could see that the team started crumbling when they were not getting the goal, when they were not finding the opener in that tie. And when you find yourself in such a situation, it puts you in a difficult, shift where your opponent knows that, look, these people, they're going to come at us.
Sure.
Once we get a goal, let's sit back and let them come at us, and we keep frustrating them. That's how Olympics, set up to play against Hearts of Oak. And once Hearts were not scoring, and the game kept growing, frustration set in. Then I realized the forwards didn't really want to go by the coach's tune.
Yes.
They looked like, how do I term it? They were not in control. They were using their own minds to play. They were not running enough. And for crying out loud, if you're a striker or an attacker, you should be running into spaces. And from where I was watching that particular game, you could see clearly that it was always Sewanu and then Denchi who were being relied on to get into those attacking areas.
Still has a problem in the middle, but they wouldn't accept that one.
Absolutely. So if you don't work around these areas, you're always caught out.
Yeah.
And it was so simple and easy to defend against this Hearts of Oak front line. Once you just keep them in a tight corner, they are exposed.
Wow.
They are not able to, slither through, get into those areas or comfortable situations where you can find them, scoring or even creating those chances. So once you get them in those spots, you've buried them. So I think that maybe going forward, that's what they should look at. Getting their attackers into very wide areas and getting through
into the box. It's a long weekend for them because they are traveling up north. But then let's see some statistics that we put together after match day 16, because a lot has really happened. Bechem United, like we are talking about, have played 7 games without conceding a goal this season, and they are unbeaten in their last 9 games. They have lost a game in the league against Gold Stars, and that was in week 7, and they have conceded just 1 at home. Bechem United again, they have a goalkeeper in Idris Ibrahim who have kept 7 consecutive clean sheets in the league, and he holds the record of the most consecutive clean sheets in the league so far. King Faisal have won a game after losing 4 consecutive games in the league as well. They won against Tamale United. And Mediama lost their last 2 away games in the Ghana Premier League. That's against the Kotoko and Accra Lions just last weekend. Gold Stars have made a lot of new signings, and one which is Stephen Owusu scored in his debut game for the club against Ediana. Legon Cities have also striker Jonah Atuke has scored in their last 2 games. He's been very quiet. And the most talked about signing, Sule Ali Muntari, made his debut for Accra Folk against Great Olympics. He came on in the 77th minute and enjoyed less than 20 minutes. Folk have lost their first home game this season at the Accra Sports Stadium, and that was against Great Olympics. Elmina Shark also has ended Asante Kotoko's unbeaten run. Sharks also have won their first game after losing 8 matches and drawing 1 without scoring a goal. So 2 red cards have already been recorded. That's Mo Ibrahim of Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Kinsley Owusu of Dreams FC, all from match day 16. And 2 coaches have parted ways with their club. That is 11 Wonders, the Champo, mutually parted ways. And after they drew against Wafa. And then Vladislav Veric also has parted ways with Dreams after losing to Bekum Chelsea at Indeu. So we've done 286 goals from 143 games, 17 red cards after 16 round of matches, and a total of 3 own goals. So for match day 16, we have 9 games, 5 home wins, 2 away wins, 2 draws, 14 goals and all. But my worry is the number of red cards. 17.
I mean, that's outrageous.
After 16 round of matches.
Outrageous. It shows the level of discipline in the league. Nobody will be wrong to say the players or whoever is involved in this have not really, taken the game a bit serious.
Yeah.
17 red cards out of 16, it tells you there's still a lot more to be done in terms of discipline. You don't rush into tackles, you don't, put yourself in dangerous situations. You don't even shut your team in very vital moments.
Someone also say means that it's very competitive. Tempers just go up almost every time when they're not going their way.
I don't think it's enough benchmark or a yardstick to say that the league is competitive enough. When tackles are flying left, right, center, it tells you something is wrong. Maybe players don't really understand the modern trends of the game. That's not to say that it doesn't happen in Europe or in much more improved leagues, but sometimes we expect it to be on the minimum here, where you don't see players rushing to tackles. Some of the red cards are even avoidable, highly avoidable.
Like some are own?
Like very avoidable. You don't get yourself into such a situation. As a professional footballer, you should be able to, think beyond the box a bit. Like, in as much as you are in a mix or in 2 minds, you don't know what to do, or you have to make a decision in a split second. Sometimes you need to exercise a bit of patience when going into tackles. I'm not blaming them entirely, because we are humans as we are. We can make errors, but I think that they should tread a bit cautiously, and maybe that could help their teams in getting the result. Because trust me, these red cards have one way or the other contributed to their teams losing. I've not seen a team win with a man 10 down or 10 against 11. I'm yet to see that in this league. So it tells you that going forward, there should be improvement in terms of psyching the players or telling them more about discipline.
Okay. Ajo Opoku will join the conversation very soon, but then let's quickly look up the table after match day season 16 and check where your team is lying at the moment. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, like we have established, lead the pack with 33 points and a game to spare. Bechem United are second, surprisingly, with 29 points. King Faisal are third on 26 points. Media Mercy are now fourth, also on 26 points. Great Olympics, after beating House of Oak, are still fifth on 25 points. Diana Stars are 6th on 24 points. Hearts of Oak are 7th on 23 points. Kaila United lie 8th with 22 points. Bekum Chelsea are 9th on 21 points. Ashanti Gold are 10th on the other side of the table with 21 points. and Dreams Football Club are now 11th on 20 points. Real Tamale United, with all that gas they were coming with, are now 12th on 19 points. BBNE Gold Stars are also 13th on 19 points. Accra Lions lie 14th on 19 points. Legon Cities are 15th on 18 points. West Africa Football Academy, strangely, are 16th on 18 points. 11 Wonders are also 17th on 16 points. Elmina Sharks lie at the bottom of the table, also on 11 points. Before you take a swipe at the table, we are joined by Ajo Opoku, who is also a lover of football and ardent follower of the Ghana Premier League. Ajo, if you can hear me, good evening.
Good evening, Abigail.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. But then, quickly, before we go to any other thing, we've done 16 matches. Your Kumasi Asante Kotoko, how is it going for you?
Good evening to your listeners and all those who are watching. Yeah, Asante Kotoko, the league leaders. Yeah, they've done great job, as you can see from the league table. And you know, it's football. You can't win it all the time. So you lose some, you win some. But this season, Kotoko will be crowned champions of the Ghana Premier League.
Okay, I like that high hopes. Let's hope that after match day 34, we can have this conversation again. But we are asking that you, as an individual that follows the Premier League, I'm sure you were happy when 5 of our players were called into the national team. But the disappointment for all of us was that none of them really had maybe more than 45 minutes part of that glory tournament we had in Cameroon. But the question we're asking is, should our Premier League managers negotiate for playing time before they release our players into the national team?
Thank you very much. I'm going to have two sides to this question.
Okay.
For the league teams, for me, they shouldn't have a say in the picking of the players, because let's say the Black Stars technical team, as a player, when you train, they are being picked from how they train at the training grounds, their performances. Yeah. So you'll be selected based on that. So your hard work will prove whether you'll be selected to play or not. Yeah. On the other hand, it's true. Let's look at Abekwe. When he went, he wasn't used at all. So even their coach was complaining that he became rusty. You can talk of Accra to Folk. They all went. They weren't used. So of course, when you go and you're not being used, you become rusty, and that is where you give the opportunity to the club to react to that. So my take on this is, I think when you are good, you show yourself, your performance as a training grounds and everything should be picked. And it's high time our local players are allowed to play in such tournaments. It boosts their morale. Yeah. So I think that opportunity should be given to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ajo, thank you very much. But then, Accra Lions should be a cool chop this weekend. Oh?
Who?
Accra Lions. You are playing Accra Lions this weekend. That is a normal game.
You mean Kotoko versus Accra Lions?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I hope they don't surprise you like Elmina Sharks. I'm sure we'll talk again.
No. Kotoko is ending the league on the 20th.
Yeah.
We are now 33, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. With 6 more points added to it.
Okay.
Kotoko will become the Premier League this season, crowned champions.
Okay. I like your gospel, but let's see if that will work at the end of March day 34.
And Abigail, I'm sorry, before I leave, I heard you talking about the women getting a new sponsor now.
Sure.
That's great. Because now it will aid more women or male girls out there to come join the women's league, you know.
Sure.
It improves. When Hazakers went playing, you saw their jersey and everything. I think all these sponsors add up to the branding and things, the way you look, everything, the women. So I'm so happy to hear that.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. So,
thank you very much.
She took it in a different vein, but what we are starting to ask is that we are happy that they see the talent we produce in the Ghana Premier League. And so when, let's say I am Real Tamale United, I gave you my prized asset in David Abagna Sangdan. And we cannot attest the fact that when he left, Real Tamale United have not been the same.
Struggling.
And then we go and then he's seen in the stands. They say he's injured after first training and all. If I am the owner of Rotterdam United, I would want to negotiate that I'm giving you my best at this point in time. Can you guarantee me playing time, or I don't release him?
Well, I think it wouldn't be fair to the foreign-based players if we are to get such a stand or a negotiation. First of all, I think that it throws away meritocracy. Whoever merits call-ups or merits a starting berth, gets affected. Sometimes we have to leave everything to the technical team to decide. And let me tell you for a fact, the quality down here, with no disrespect to the quality down here, you can't compare it to players playing outside the country.
Don't call our local players.
Oh no, sometimes you call up the players for particular reasons.
Like?
To gather the experience, tournament experience, to boost their confidence, to also, some way, somehow, when there's a problem or there's a mishap somewhere, you call them in, and that's where some of them, shine on the big stage. Abedi Pele, for instance. Abedi Pele, for instance, where he had a crack at the national team. He was a local-based player.
Yes. He was not an afterthought.
Not an afterthought, actually.
Yes.
But someone got injured. A key player in the team got injured. And he had his chance, and he proved to the whole Ghana that he can make it. Maybe that's how we should be looking at it. But that's not to say that when we have a player playing down here and is performing exceptionally, and there's a particular position we see that this particular chap can fix in, we can put him there. I look at the quality in Europe or quality outside the country.
Yeah.
And sometimes you interact with agents. And when they pick a player down here, the player must go through some bit of a process, transition into mainstream Europe. That tells you
a different thing altogether.
Yeah,
we are talking about tournament basis. When you think that this is our best, hold that thought. let me quickly run by us the second round transfers that were done by most of our clubs. Some decided not to get players at all. So first we have Legon Cities. They got Patrick Yaboa and Abdul Basit, all on free agent, but they're on loan, I'm sure, to the end of the season. And BBN Gold Stars surprisingly splashed some monies around when they got Farouk Adams, they got Stephen Owusu, they got Prince Opoko Ajiman. At a point in time, Hearts of Oak were trying to sign that Mediama striker. Noah Mate has been in the system for a very long time, also with BBN Gold Stars now, and Ebenezer Abuaje is also a free agent that has joined BBN Gold Stars. And the Diana Stars just went for one. Mudasiru Manan, that's from Great Olympics. He has joined Aduana Stars now. And a Nigeria player joined Bekum Chelsea. Fanny Lassina Issa is now a Bekum Chelsea player. And so Issa Akuka and Victor Edu of Hearts of Oak have all joined Real Tamale United for the rest of the season. And the big one was Hearts of Oak, Sule Ali Muntai, Dennis Kosa, the most sought after left back, and Richard Kwabena J from Nkwanza Warriors have all joined Accra Hearts of Oak. So just 3 for the defending champions. And Chief Justice Blay finally joined Kumasi Asante Kotoko after all the tussle, and that experience and that control and that goalkeeping department was given to Fatau Dauda to see how best he can be an option for Kotoko when the need arises. And so it wasn't too much busy, but there were some key transfers that were made. Let's end that thought on the players, and then we can look.
Yeah. So back to the matter. I think that we should leave it like that. We shouldn't negotiate anything in terms of asking the national team handlers to give locally based players or home based players, I call them home based players, some particular amount of time. They should merit it. If a coach feels this player can fit into this position and can do well,
that is the word I do not want you to use, because the minute you call Maxwell Abekwe, it means he merits it.
Absolutely.
The minute you call Rachel Atta, it means he merits it. Look at the sort of goalkeeping we had at the tournament. Not to take anything away from Molokot, but you will not sit here with me and tell me that display is something better than Even Alawa, who has not been in gospel for a very long time.
Maybe we've not seen them yet playing for the Black Stars. So,
and so no, I get you. But if I'm a certain heart of oak, I would want to be sure that if my goalkeeper is not going to be used, I would need him. Look at how Richard Ayi had to build his confidence. Everybody had to get on him because at the point in time there was no option. So he had to get his acts together and came somewhat good for heart of oak till Atta came back. And so the point here is how the local based players lose out and the players go out there doing virtually nothing.
Well, maybe our situation was a bit different because we got butchered early. But I'm sure maybe if we had gone to the round of 16,
look at the last
Maxwell would have gotten a crack.
Played against Comoros. Fatal Shahaku, come on. He will not tell me.
He was brilliant.
Thank you.
He's an exception. He's the current best under-20 footballer on the African continent.
Yes.
He played for the Black Major.
And that's how you treat our exception.
Not that. But I think that
your own words are giving you up.
No, but I think that
our exception.
Yeah, he's an exception.
You treat him to 37 minutes. Our exception. Then there's no need to call anybody again.
Minutes are negotiable in terms of performance on the day. A coach can look at a player and say, "Look, I've had enough from you in the first 37 minutes. I can decide to rank you and bring in someone else who can." No, when Fatal left the game, we scored 2 goals, right?
When he was in the game, what was the contribution?
I think it was fantastic.
Let's not go back to Cameroon, but this conversation will definitely continue.
Yeah, we need to revisit that.
With a lot of inputs from other facets of the game. But let's see what will happen in week 17 because there are some big games that are lining up. And we'll leave Fridays out because that is going to be our match of the weekend. So on Saturday at the Babara Sports Stadium, Kumasi Asante Kotoko will lock on with the Accra Lions. And then on Sunday, when there's some avalanche of games, Road Tamale United will welcome Heart of Oak to the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium. Media Mercy will play Dream Silver Club at the Akon Park. Great Olympics will play Elmina Sharks at the Accra Sports Stadium. Ashanti Gold will play Bibiani Gold Stars at the Linkley Stadium. And Aduana Stars at the Nanajima Bedu, the first park, will play 11 Wonders. West Africa Football Academy will welcome Karela United, I should say, to the Red Bull Arena. And then on Monday, Legon Cities will play Alaji Guses King Faisal. But the big one is going to be on Friday. That is our match of the week, sort of a local derby between Bekum Chelsea and Bechem United. We've been talking to the PRO of Bechem United. He believes that this is very historical because Bekum Chelsea used to be called Bechem Chelsea till they moved to the other side of the Bronga halfway. And so if there's someone that really knows Bekum Chelsea, it has to be Bechem United. We'll hear from the public relations officer, Emmanuel Jesse Etuahene, who says that they are ready to get all 3 points from Bekum. Okay, so we'll get to hear from Etuahene later, but week 17 is here. We are almost wrapping up because we have a game in hand that will be cleared next week. This interesting fixtures, if you ask me, for Accra to folk having traveling up north, Road Tamale United should be ready to welcome them.
Obviously, and you should know this game comes with a lot of interest. Sule Muntari going up north, he's really cherished up north.
Is he going?
Well, he's part of the team, so.
We have players who have chosen the games they want to play, so I'm just asking.
I don't think this will be Sule's situation. I'm sure he's going to join the party.
I'm just told he's not going.
Oh, like authoritatively.
I just heard it somewhere, but I know that if we were going by air, he could have considered, but to travel by road to Tamale.
Well, once you're a player of Accra to folk, wherever they go, you have to follow them.
But I'm not surprised if he's not going because we've had players who no.
I mean, in the past, players have declined, travels and all that. So, but I'm sure with Sule's inclusion, it will bring a lot to the game, not just the football, but the attraction. The people of the North will love to see Sule Muntari. They cherish him a lot and will love to see him.
Let's listen to Emmanuel Jesse, who is the PRO for Bechem United, talking big ahead of that game later at the Linkley Stadium.
That's easy for us. We knew of the task ahead of us so far as this season was concerned. After the end of last season, we sat down as management. We had a post-mortem of the previous season. the things that went on well, those that didn't go on well, and they needed to add 1 or 2 touches to them. And we realized that there were certain factors that hindered our chances of getting a top 4 finish, which was our ambition for the previous season. We worked on those factors, and I think that is what has been yielding the fruits that we've been seeing so far as this season is concerned. As I already indicated earlier on, the season hasn't been that easy for us, but we were aware of the tasks ahead of us. We made sure that we put everything in good position. So far, so good. That has been the magic, and that has been exactly what has been working for us. If you want to ask of the club that knows Berekum Chelsea very well, is Bichim United, simply because these 2 clubs were in Bichim. Berekum Chelsea was formerly Bichim Chelsea, and then they gained promotion to the Ghana Premier League before we Bichim United also gained a promotion to the Ghana Premier League. So we know them very well, and it has always been a rivalry whenever we meet, either in Berekum or at Bichim. We are aware of the kind of performance that they've been putting up so far as their previous games are concerned. We've had time to watch some of their games, develop a strategy that will be able to, match them good for good. And we believe in our guys, believe in our technical team, and we know that with the right measures that we have put in place, at the end of the day, we are going to get the respectable points that we want to get. If you look at the table, if you look at the points that we've amassed so far, so after match day 16, and look at the number of unbeaten games that we've run, if you look at the number of clean sheets that we've kept, that should tell you that we are going to this game either to get the 3 maximum points at stake, or at least get a point and bring it back to Pichi. We want to keep up the momentum. We don't want what happened the previous season to repeat itself, whereby our performance was a bit inconsistent. But this time around, we want to end the first round on a good note, begin the second round on a good note, and then end the season very, very well. So that is exactly what we are hoping for. And we believe that tomorrow we are going to crown the first round in grand style, make the people of Ahafo region and the pride of Ahafo and the Hunters also very happy with our performance so far as the first round is concerned. The journey hasn't been that easy for us. We knew of the task ahead of us so far as this season was concerned.
Berekum, the Golden City Park in Berekum will hold that one. Berekum Chelsea versus Bichim United. I like the way Bichim United are talking big ahead of this one. Clearly, they are lying second. And so.
It adds the vibe to that particular game. It's the Bruno Hafo derby, and derbies of that nature brings a lot to the fore. And I'm expecting a very cagey tie. I like the way the PRO was talking big, talking up their chances, talking about how they know Berekum Chelsea very well because of a bit of history there. Berekum Chelsea were actually formed in Bichim,
and they moved.
Yeah, they moved to Berekum. So looking at all these dynamics, they think that they are the best side to actually beat Berekum Chelsea at the Golden City. But that's a very difficult ground to be at. I've been there personally, and it's a very, very tough ground to be at. So if they're able to churn out the result there, I think that'll be a massive, massive 3 points for them.
Okay, so this weekend there are some interesting games there. So wherever you are, you can join in that action. But let's switch a little and talk about women's football, because Matilda Jimedo is also a member of the communications department, has been telling us what it really means to have that sponsorship with Betway. Clearly is a developmental sponsorship, and so it's going to develop from the coaching and trickle down to the principal actors as well. But this weekend also, they have some games that are going to come on. Some are going to be live on television, I am told. But then let's remind ourselves of what happened in week 7 before they had a break for that FA Cup. And so in the Northern Zone, it was Scorpia Ladies who held Northern Ladies to a 1-1 drawn game, and FC Savannah, the new entrants, also were losers to Fabulous Ladies 3-1. Kumasi Sports Academy beats Prison Ladies 1-0. Ashtown were also losing at home to new entrants Dream Ladies, who beat them 3-0. And Ampem Dakwan found their scoring boots and beat Supreme Ladies 7-3. And in the Southern Zone, There was some good games as well. Thunder Queens shared sports with Immigration Ladies. Hazakes Ladies also shared sports 2-2 with Berry Ladies. And the Lady Strikers also beat Sea Lions 6-0. Army Ladies also beat Faith Ladies 2-1. And Please Ladies were losing to Soccer Intellectuals. I'm told we can hear from Matilda Jimedo now. We'll come back and then we'll see what happens in week 8.
Opportunity. We had snippets of information that there are a lot of partners who want to come on board and assist the FA with stuff concerning the women football. And then, as we all know, we have 2 of them now, but that's IMAX TV coming on board to give us extensive coverage on the Women's Premier League, as well as also having Betway coming on board as a developmental partner. For us at our side, I think it's a very good partnership that the GFA have been able to secure with Betway, because Betway, it's a very good partnership that the GFA have secured with Betway. We announced earlier that Betway have come on board to help assist us to be able to have some developmental help with some developmental aspects of the game. And the first thing that they will be doing for us is to look at capacity building. And when we talk about capacity building, it's one of the key areas that really helps us in the development of the game. We look at our coaches, the coaching staff, the administrative staff. We look at the medical staff, all the aspects of the game that is willing to put in a lot to train them. The partnership also involves some financial gain, which will also go a long way to help our clubs to be able to finance them, or to be able to ease off the burden a bit for them. So for me, I think that it's a good thing for Betway to come on board and also to assist the Ghana Football Association at this very crucial moment where everybody is looking up to the FA to help bring up the standard of the women's game. They are the official developmental partners of the Women's Premier League. Well, the ladies will benefit immensely because in as much as we are touching more on the developmental aspects, we are also looking at how to develop the playing body themselves. That's the more reason why Betway is going to supply training equipment.
Okay, so clearly something to be happy about when it comes to women's football. After 12 years of wanting a partner or a sponsor, now it is here. We hope we get to make the best out of that. And so week 8 is here, and in the Northern Zone, there are some interesting fixtures. Northern Ladies will welcome Ashtown Ladies to the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium, and Prison Ladies will play up in Dakwa at the Sunyani Coronations Park. And then on Sunday, Supreme Ladies will play FC Savannah at the Bantama AstroTurf. That's in the morning. And then later in the afternoon, Fabulous Ladies will play Pelpia Ladies at the same venue. And then on Monday, Dreams Ladies will play Kumasi Sports Academy at the Bantama AstroTurf. And then in the Southern Zone, status on Saturday as well, Sea Lions will play Army Ladies at the Indian Sports Complex. And then Soccer Intellectuals will play Hazakes Lady at the Eduyao Asasan Park in Ejumako. And then Berry Ladies welcome Thunder Queens to the Medina AstroTurf. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be Immigration Ladies versus Lady Strikers at the Magdan La Town Park. And then on Wednesday, 16th February, Faith Ladies will welcome Police Ladies to Dansoman Windorf Park. That used to be the home grounds of Liberty Professionals. But before we go, there's a minute on the women's sponsorship in the shop.
I think that's massive encouragement to the girls or women. I think that there's nothing better than a sponsorship deal that extends to the other aspects of the game, not just the football. I think this is more like an extrinsic motivation to the ladies. You get more people getting involved in the game, and maybe where we want to see the women football in the coming years, this is just the beginning. Personally, I think we are on the right path with what Hazakes Ladies did last year in the Women Champions League.
It's very attractive.
That was fantastic. It got everyone's attention, and I'm sure there'll be more of these when we get people pumping money into the women football.
Oh, okay. So, some of us have known Betway from where we sit and the things they do when they really want to get into football. We've seen how they've developed talent from grassroots and brought our legends on board. I hope they will get to do same for the women as well and then develop them in our regions as well. And so, it's been an interesting run with Sammy here on GTV Sports Plus on the beautiful game. I'm sure that when we come back next week, there'll be some interesting results, and also we'll talk about that big one to wrap up the first round between Kumasi, Asante Kotoko and Accra Hartlepool. That outstanding game that will be air-raising. So my name is Abigail, and let's do this again next week and enjoy all of our games right from Friday up until Wednesday, because the women will play even up to Wednesday. And let's have a good weekend. Thank you.
Our own Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own. Let's cherish our own.
Women's Premier League is back again.
And the what dog can want and EJ can want the ration one. The what dog can want and EJ can want the ration one.